let's bring her on now. Miss Eulica Kimber, come to the stage.
Good morning.
Good morning and happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I really have no complaints today.
Good, good, good. Um, I'm excited about this opportunity to chat with you because I know you've put in a lot of hard work.
My goodness.
A lot of hard work, but and it's a brand spanking new baby.
It is. It
Brand
is.
spanking new. So most of the people I get to talk to, their books have been out for a few years. But yours is like just, I mean, a week or two old.
I'm telling you. And you are truly the midwife.
That was fun. So, what I want to do is I want to jump off and give you a moment to share with the audience who you are, what you do, and anything else you want to talk about.
Hey, well, I'm Eulica Kimber, and I'm a certified public accountant. I hold a degree in accounting from the Virginia State University in Petersburg, Virginia. And back when I was 17 years old, I decided somehow, because I was good at math, that I would be an accountant. And that was meant I could have a living, but I didn't know that I would also find my passion in helping other people understand the language of business, which is accounting. So over the years, I've worked in various lanes in accounting professionally and even serving in my community. My first, I guess, outside of work accounting assignment was that I was the treasurer of the PTA. So what I noticed is that outside of work, that there are people who needed my skill set. And I also noticed that I was specially skilled to really speak the language of business and accounting in a way that normal people who are not number nerds could understand. And that led me on a journey, probably over the last 30 years, of really helping churches, businesses, and nonprofits in accounting. Sometimes in a paid capacity where they would hire me, other times because I was a part of the organization and I ended up being the treasurer and helping people translate and understand what they were seeing in their numbers and being able to make decisions to impact your numbers. We think that we see business like a Walmart or a Target, and we think, oh, they just know. No, everything you see is a business decision that was based on numbers. And I wanted to be able to translate that to ordinary business owners. And then when I was in my master's degree, I got my MBA from the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. My project that I focused on for my graduation project was about the shadow economy. You might be like, what is the shadow economy? So on TV, they're talking about businesses that have business licenses, that are operating, reporting income. But in the African American community and other communities, but specifically ours, there's a whole shadow economy. People are braiding hair, fixing cars, cutting grass. So there's money moving in the shadows, but they don't get the benefit of having a legal business. So that means they're not paying money into the social security system. They're unable to obtain health care. And even back when they had the PPP, which was an infusion of wealth into businesses, they missed those opportunities because they are shadow of businesses. So shadow means you stay in the shadow. When you don't have a business license, you're not getting over on the man, you're hurting yourself. Because as a not legal business, you're missing the benefits of business. So that means when it's time to go to a storefront or go get your license, you cannot do that. You have to stay in the shadows.
Mhm.
So I got together with a collective of women who love to serve the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in the country. And if y'all are in the chat, I want you to put who that is. There is one demographic in this country that is the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs. That is African American women. One, because we're always serving. We serve at the church for free, we serve at the PTA for free, and we have all these skills and abilities, and we sometimes launch into business. We are the fastest growing entrepreneurial group in the nation. But sometimes we suffer because we don't have the knowledge, skills, and ability to serve that. But that is my passion. So that's a
So
long
what
answer.
I love about that, and I love that you brought up shadow economy, because um, that goes along with, are you hustling or are
Uh,
you operating a business, right?
exactly.
So a lot of them are put into the hustle category because they don't have all the documentation, all the
Exactly.
legal registrations, et cetera, et cetera.
And they suffer for it. So let's say you and I get together, Desiree, and we bake cakes. Like, people love them at the church. And we say, we're gonna bake cakes. We're gonna bake cakes. Okay, they're selling, we're trying to sell them out our house. What happens when we're so big we need a commercial kitchen? And or we need to invest in some equipment that we've been making money, but we ain't been making money to go buy some bigger equipment. Because we have not been legal, and kind of doing things out of our pockets, we can't go to the bank and say, hey, if we had $5,000, Desiree, we
Hmm.
could expand our business and pay that loan off within 12 months. But when you operate in the shadow economy, we would have to stay small. We would
Yes.
probably have to turn away work. We probably would have to, not, if somebody gets sick or something, we don't have the insurance to cover the losses or whatever. And we would have to work ourselves to death because only you and I could bake, because we don't have money to invest in payroll to hire an
Hmm.
assistant. So the shadow economy and the government knows you're there.
Yeah.
Certain people in higher places know that you're there because they'll take advantage of you. They'll let you come clean their house under the table and pay you cash,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But they also know they ain't got to worry about you for competition. You will never ever be on their level. And that
Hmm.
is something that we are doing to ourselves. And so
Mm.
that is my passion, to explain those things to people. So every time I'm getting my hair done, getting my nails done by somebody who looks like us, I try to explain those things. And that is my passion. That's why I'm here.
I think another piece of that too is, which really goes into a lot of your what you do as well as a CPA and whatnot, understanding that. So you can't grow. We get that. You can't really. You're not really legal in the full sense, but you also can't. So we want to go ahead and expand, right? So one of the reasons why we can't do that is because we don't have our accounting paperwork in place.
Correct.
We don't have we don't have a true we haven't separated our personal checking account from our business banking account,
True.
right? We can't get investors because we have no way of showing them a profit and loss sheet.
Exactly.
Even as simple as that, right?
Even if we baked one cake today, we should be able to show a little balance sheet, a little income statement of it. This is
Yes.
how much the sugar costs. This is how much
Hmm.
the flour costs. This is how much the electricity costs. Because really, even if you're doing that, you don't know if you're charging enough. You might pick a price out of your head. It might be $20 to make, and you're charging $25, but that ain't even enough money to pay yourself. And you
I
think
have
you're
someone just mentioned in the chat, they said this is great. And the person, I happen to know this person,
who
they're
is
my
it?
cousin. So, and I know the type of things that she does. And it's interesting you're saying baking. She does cooking, but she also is a very anointed soloist who does a lot of singing with bands
Mm-hmm.
and different
And you
things
know
like
what I
that.
tell my soloists? That at that funeral, they got life insurance. They can pay you. I have a friend, Andy. I'm not gonna say her last name, but she sings, and she's like, something that the Lord lays on. No, you've taken off work. You've set up. You know how long? You know how long our funerals are? And you're gonna sit there, and you only sing for a few, but you sit there. So even that is why we have a hard time. Even it's business. That's why we have a hard time. Even we talking about going into full time entrepreneurship. You on that job, you got to make enough money to replace all of that, including paying yourself. And I think that we do ourselves a disservice on so many levels, and we think that we're getting over because in the maybe to the cooking example, you don't understand why they're charging $100 a plate, because this is a service. and you got to cover the costs, the taxes, the retirement of the person that's providing the service. And I think that we understand that as African Americans, as consumers,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
we'll go put on some Balenciaga.
Yeah. Yeah.
It costs the same thing to produce that garment as a Shein garment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
you understand the value of certain brands, certain companies. So you'll respect their business. You'll respect the Walmart and the General Motors and the Toyota. And it didn't cost $30,000 car, but they have to pay the people who produced it. Somebody sold it to you. They got to ship it. It's regulatory things they have
Keeping
to.
lights on, electricity, all of that.
Exactly. We
Mm-hmm.
call that overhead costs.
Yes.
So there's costs to produce, but because we are consumers, but we don't learn while we're consuming, and we do ourselves a disservice. And that's why also, so I mentioned that we are the fastest growing demographic, but minority business are the most likely to fail. And when we fail, we take down other people with us because we're the aunties. We're the ones they come to when they need their money for the GED test and for the
Wow.
SAT test. We're the aunties that say, "Oh, you going to the prom? Oh, girl, let me put something towards your dress." So when we suffer, the people around us suffer. Because most times, African American women, we're not just supporting our home; we're also blessing our households that are connected to us. So it's really a multi-generational issue when we aren't approaching business in the right way.
That's
I'm sorry.
powerful.
I'm sorry to bring the mood down early on a Saturday.
No, I'm just my mouth is dropping because I'm like, that's right. But we don't think of that. Um talk keep no, you're on a good
So I,
point.
I
Please
just think
elaborate.
that we have to look at the gravity of it, and even the way that, so we're always hustling. We're always looking for the short term and not looking for the long term. You have to figure out how much it costs you to do business, how much time it costs you to do business. And you have to factor in your health. And yes, you can have health insurance as an entrepreneur, but you're not going to be able to sell it for $5. I'm just sorry. And
So
if
speak to because what I see a lot of times in social media is where people are talking about you're just this business, you're just this gal, this guy. Why am I going to pay you $50 when it's just you? Um, I could just
mm,
go to the store and this particular store and get it for $50. You're not them, so why should I have to pay you that kind of money?
so I can answer that on multiple levels. One,
Okay,
that means that's not the people you should be talking to. That's not your audience.
that's not your audience.
And so we need people, like I mentioned about the designer brand, it costs the same thing to sew a doc.
Mhm.
But Liz Claiborne or Calvin Klein or whatever, it's the same sewing as the Shein or the lesser garment, or even if you got a custom dress made by a local seamstress. But you can only gather wealth where people see your value. Stop trying to convince them people. They're not for you. Can I say what I really want to say? They're not
Yes.
they're not in your weight class. So they're not for you. So we don't go to I'm sorry.
You're okay.
We don't go to Ruth Chris and argue with them. We could have got a McNugget. You know what I'm saying? You don't argue with them about their value. A steak don't cost that much.
Nope. And
But
Ruth Chris's, they separate pieces. You don't even get the sides with it. You got to get your sides separately. And we don't complain. We just pay it.
exactly. And because it's about the experience, they're delivering more to you. You're telling you, I see more value in you than just the meal. It's the
Mhm.
experience. It's that you didn't have to cook it yourself. It's that they would bring it to you. There's value in it. And I think sometimes that you're marketing to the wrong people, and your family is not supposed to, like, I don't argue with Target. Oh, that's my daughter. She's an entrepreneur as well. The neat nurse. That's why you don't argue with them about swiping that red card. See, she like me. She rough like me. Exactly. But you have to be immune to that. You have to become immune to people who are naysayers. That's not the right people you're talking to. And I want to say, you have
Mhm.
to build a product or develop a product or service that appeals to the masses. You're not going to become wealthy selling to your family and your friends, you know? And so it can't be if your family doesn't see you or see the value that, or your friends or people on Facebook. You can block them too, but you have to market yourself in such a way, and that's what comes to charging the right price and marketing, investing in marketing stuff, so you can talk to people outside of your small circle.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes familiarity, what's the word? You know the word,
Breeds contempt.
breeds contempt. Some people, because they're saying that, but you the girl from around the way. You know, but I am a certified public. I told my kids, and Kiana's on the line, the need nurse. On my headstone, it needs to say certified public accountant. You're gonna respect me. So if you've been to school and you're a hairdresser and you're setting yourself apart, and you having the book development business, no, you have to put some respect on your name. And when people shun you about your prices, you have to be comfortable enough with yourself to walk away. Do not let people
Yeah.
demean you. And speaking about African American women, we're the most disrespected people in this society. And that doesn't mean you have to take less. Now, we're not telling you to charge $1 million to get your hair
Right.
braided. That's not what we're saying.
Right.
It has to be reasonable and match the marketplace. And we teach it in the book that we wrote. It
Yes.
teaches you some of those things. But don't argue with people about your price.
And don't automatically, which is something I used to do. I never argued with them, but I would automatically discount it
Yes.
because I would feel that pressure or the questions. But what I found over the years, I've been doing this now for 10 years, and what I found is when I really looked at the cost of what it took me to produce whatever the client is asking for, even if it's a cost not attributable on a line item, it might be my time and energy. I might have to use
Exactly.
more skill. I might have to get other resources to accomplish something. And when I looked at that and said, okay, wait a minute, I'm paying them now to do it because I'm literally going into my own resources to give it to them.
And that kind of touches on the respect thing. Whatever business relationship that you go into, your dentist, your doctor, it's a relationship. And that
Yes.
relationship can only be sustained by respect, mutual
Yes.
respect. And I think when people want a discount all the time, and these are not, you don't have to write a book. This is something
Right.
you want to do.
Right.
So you're not talking about necessities, putting food on your table. So this is something you want to do so you can floss on social media, but you don't want to pay people. Come on. Like that lady told me, so I have a minimum call. My
Mm-hmm.
minimum call is 2 hours. So it's
Okay.
a flat rate. And whatever we can get done in that 2 hours. And this is what the lady told me in an email. I had helped them before some other things, but she needed some clarification. And she said, well, this, you can answer me by email. She said, only it'll take you a minute. And I wrote back to her. And this is a woman of God.
Yes. 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 I'm
Oh,
with
I
you.
ain't say
I'm
that.
with you.
And I said, you're not paying for my time. You're paying for my expertise.
Can I tell a quick little story that
Please
I've learned
do.
a long time ago? So there's this story, this analogy in business class. We learned this. There's this guy that this crew on a ship, and apparently there's an issue. They keep hearing something or something's not functioning the way they need it to function on this ship, so the ship can't go anywhere. And so they bring in their number one crewsman to try to fix it. He can't fix it. They bring in an engineer from the crew, and he plays around with it for a little while, and he can't fix it. So they have to call this guy that's not even part of their crew to come in to fix this problem. So he comes in, and within 2 minutes, he listens, he looks at it, he diagnoses it, and then he taps on it. and the problem's immediately fixed. He charges them, say, $1,000. Well, it only took you 2 minutes to fix the problem. No, it may have only took me 2 minutes to fix the problem, but it took me the rest of that. That might have been like $5 worth. But the
Correct.
rest of it was my expertise and skill that allowed me to do it in 2 minutes.
Exactly. It took me 30 years to get to this level of knowledge.
Exactly.
And
So
yeah,
you're
you
not just
don't make
paying me for my
money out of
time, you're paying me for all the years of experience and skill I have to be able to do it like this.
exactly. I think of another a recent thing, maybe a few months ago. I had a plumber, and he came in like 10 minutes. He solved the problem, but he is the only person who can solve that problem. I could have paid Leroy $5 to come and look at it, but Leroy don't know. He probably would have tore it up. Leroy is not a real person.
Okay.
But people will disrespect, and it doesn't have to be a degree position. It doesn't
Right.
have to be,
No.
but if you braid hair, if you clean houses and you clean it well, and that is your gift, do not let people discount your expertise. You know what products to use. You know how to organize. You know how to get the dishwasher going while you get the clothes washing, and then you're going to do the floor. Like, you know, to order and to do it efficiently. You're not going to steal in a house. Like, that are services and quality of service that cannot be discounted. And if
Yeah.
you cannot, and we're not talking, I'm still saying these are not bread and butter needs. This is not your food on your table. So if you want your house clean and you don't want to pay, clean it yourself. And you got to be big enough and bad enough as a
Yeah.
businesswoman to walk.
Yeah.
We check everybody else in our life as Black women. We're gonna have to do it in regards to our money as well. And don't be afraid to walk away. And what I've learned too about, because I used to always, so like used to serve a lot of churches, and I felt like this is my service to God, and I'm gonna cut the price as cheap as possible, blah blah
Yes.
blah. They were the most worrisome people. The people who get the discount ask for the
The
most.
most.
Like, the lady wanted me to sit on Zoom with her while she's figuring it out and asking me questions. What That's like changing your own oil, but you want to do it at the mechanic shop. So, am I doing it right? Or do I
Yes,
click
yes,
here?
yes,
No,
yes,
ma'am, that's my time.
yes,
That's time I can't serve another client.
yes.
So when I responded to that person about, she had dinner, she told me, she says, not that much time, we need 5 to, but ain't no call gonna be 5 or 10 minutes. She's gonna keep
Right.
me on out, whatever. And
Yeah.
I said, no, it's my time and it's my expertise that you're asking for,
Yes.
my value. I've never
Yes.
heard from them again.
I hear you. Um, we both are fans of, if you want to use that word, Miss Charvette Mitchell.
Yes,
Yes,
I
Miss
love that.
Charvette. I'm gonna give her a shout out right now because
She wrote the forward of the book.
yes, she did. Yes, she did. And she's one of my favorite people
Yeah,
in the entrepreneurial space because
yeah,
she walks this thing, right?
she does.
And one of the nuggets that I took from her a long time ago, and it has stuck with me, is as long as they're asking you what, you can give it to them for free. The moment they shift to how, you send an invoice.
Exactly.
Because what, I can send you an email and go boom, 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 boom. If it's that easy, you can just do it. Take it and do it. It's no big deal. That's not where the expertise comes in. The expertise and skill comes in the how.
Exactly.
And so that's what you're paying for, my ability to do it and to do it well. And so she said, that's always stuck with me. As long as they're just asking me a quick question, I can just tell them,
And
oh,
you
go to
probably
copyright.gov or whatever. I can do that.
and you probably can do it yourself if there are no hiccups.
Mm-hmm.
So people
Mm-hmm.
do their own accounting on QuickBooks and Wave
Sure.
and whatever, and you can do that. But
Sure.
when you buy an asset and you need to record it properly, it cannot be expensed. You have to put it and do depreciation. That's where there's a nuance. So your financial statements are not correct. But I'm not going to sit, like, the doctor is not going to sit here and explain to you all the nuances of where the knee bone is connected to the whatever bone. He does not have to explain. Like, it would take too long to do that. And I have other people I need to serve. And I think you just have to, one, go back to the original topic about value.
Yes.
Familiarity breeds contempt
Yes.
sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
I feel like sometimes it's hurtful and you feel like you have an obligation to a certain but you don't have to keep people there. And if they want to elevate their lifestyles, what is it? My hairstylist always speaks about, oh yes.
Coach.
Yes.
So
You have, because you talking about a braid, it's all day. You can't pay
standing on their
$100.
feet.
You cannot pay $100 for that. How is this lady ever going to retire? It's about, it goes back to the respect, familiarity, and
Mm-hmm.
knowing who your audience is. And sometimes you got to walk away from them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not for me. So I was like, well, you can go find somebody. That's no problem. Well, that's a bit much. Not a problem. I've had to do that many, many, many times.
When you hit a pain point when um, you are either trying to buy a house or something major, right? And they go, okay, where's your finances? And you can't pull out any paperwork.
Correct.
Or you hit a pain point, like I'm raising my own hand, or you got a major bill come up, like your air conditioning goes out, or this, that, or the other. But because you haven't been charging properly, because you haven't been being a good manager of the thing that God put in your hand,
Exactly.
right? Then you can't get credit, or you can't get funding, or you can't get, or you don't have the money in your savings account.
Correct. You have to, your business can't just survive day to day. It has to, and we talk about I don't know if you remember one of the last things when we were writing the book, one of the concepts was the going concern concept. You said, what is that?
Yes.
Going concern is something we learn in accounting, is that you're intending to keep going.
Yes.
So that means you aren't just like, if you need to spend $10, you need to make more than $10 today, because is this business a going concern? I think we see enough cars in the drive-thru at McDonald's to know, oh, they're a going concern. It's going to be here. And I think as in our community, one, because generationally we kind of have been in survival mode. We think we're supposed to continue survival mode. So even in entrepreneur, you have to shift your lane, shift your view, because you need to look future next month. So if you need $1,000 of inventory a month, then you need to make enough money to be able to start buying the inventory before. If you're looking at, one of the biggest lessons, because since we are consumers, when you go into Walmart, don't get mad when they have Christmas stuff out in August, because October is too late.
Yeah.
So then why are you doing things at the last minute? That means you need to sit down for the year and plan out the year. What do I need to have in place for August? What do I need to have in place for the Christmas sale? So as we are consumers, we need to start taking lessons from big business.
Yes.
And you're like, I can't believe, how are your entrepreneurs saying it? I can't believe they got Easter stuff out already, because they can't wait to the last minute. Because you would have walked past that stuff 3-4 times, and when Easter get here, you'd be like, oh, I saw they had it.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's about changing your mindset to not looking at paycheck to paycheck here and now, but looking down the road and planning out your business. One, having a business plan. What do you plan on doing? What do you plan on selling? Who do you plan on selling it to? Where are those people? So if you're doing something live, let's say you got to go to a vendor show, that's only at a certain date or whatever.
Yes.
You got to be prepared before you get there. Stuff has to be shipped to you. And that takes money.
Yes.
So you got to be doing things that takes money to make money. And I think that as we start to shift our mindset, as we start to appreciate the lessons we have learned on our jobs, can you imagine how much money they had to make to have to think about the people in your last job? How much money do they have to make sure your paycheck is there every time?
That's right. That's right.
And as an entrepreneur, you need to make enough money to make sure your paycheck is there. You should be able to pay yourself a set amount.
Yes.
On average, you might have good months and bad months or whatever, but then you gotta, okay, I need another lane of income. We need to start offering T-shirts. We need to start offering other services to bring in my money. Just like, and I keep using Walmart, because Walmart is they have more than one department.
Everybody understands that. That's right.
If they only sold toothpicks, they would be bankrupt.
Yes, 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 yes.
So you need complementary services or things you can do. I remember my old lawn guy. He cut grass in the summer, but guess what? He had an attachment to put on the front of his truck. in the winter, and he did snow. He also, if you had the VIP package, he would come before the snow. You would see. I'm like, what's he doing out there? He's putting rock salt. That's a service. Easy. Buy rock salt. Go put it in people's driveways so it's easy for you to shovel. So you got
Yes.
to think out, how can you bring in money on a consistent basis? That might mean more than one activity that makes sense, that brings in the cash, so you don't have to suffer.
Okay, I got a question, because this is a pet peeve for me, but so I just want to bounce it off of you and get your feedback. So a lot of times I'll hear about this entrepreneurial idea of multiple streams of income.
Yes.
Okay. And so my idea is exactly what you said. My understanding of multiple streams of income means I have multiple ways to make this thing happen.
Yes.
In this wintertime, I've got a snowblower. In pre-winter, I'm doing rock salt, or all these different things that happen, right? Those
To
are
the same
multiple
customer. To
ways.
the same customer.
Same customer.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple ways to bring income in. What I see sometimes, though, is some entrepreneurs will do 5 different types of businesses that are not related to each other.
Mm.
And I'm almost like, you're splitting yourself into pieces. And how can you be doing each one very, very well to the level that you have to plan that out to have those additional services or service levels, what have you? What is your understanding of truly having multiple streams of business? Because if you look at Walmart has groceries, they have clothing and whatnot, they have electronics, they have tire and automotive. That to me is multiple streams.
But they only pay rent one time. It's all under one roof.
That's yes.
So I think that, well, it depends on, I would say you have to nurture your business. That means it needs your attention, and if it to grow it. And I would say you need to learn to grow 1 or 2 small businesses, scale them, and before you do something totally different that takes your time away. I think that you can have 5 little businesses, but your attention is not going to be there. You're not going to be able to, you're going to work around the clock. But if you nurture 1 or 2 businesses properly, scale them, be able to serve more clients. So that might mean you hire a helper, you get an employee, or you automate some things, and you get kind of fire yourself and you step out of your day-to-day.
Yes.
Then you can go and maybe add something else.
Yes.
But I do not know anyone who, I know people who have multiple businesses and who do very well, but normally it's because they've grown each of the businesses before they've gone out. Like they have help, they have a staff,
yes.
They have organizing, they
yes.
limit their schedule, because you're going to work yourself together. Your most valuable resource is the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I would even say, I'm gonna always go to an example in big business. McRib.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have it all the time. They do not.
Right.
So it might be seasonal. It might be, or you try it and see if it works and see if it takes, before you invest a whole bunch of money into a new venture. And I think that I would say take it slow and let it grow.
Take it slow and let it grow. I like that. One of the chat in the chat, they're saying, I always say make $1 million first on one, then go to the other and make $1 million if that's what they want to do. Which goes back to what you're saying, grow it, grow that piece before you move on to something else.
And I think too, if you cannot sleep or spend time with your family, growing that business, I would slow down and figure out how you can make money without you having to be present all the time. So it might be selling a book. It might be a course that's on auto. You have to figure out a way that doesn't deplete you.
Wow.
And I think some people get off on like being busy. I don't know. I'm a napper.
I need a nap. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Get somebody else to do it.
So I think that I think you have to think about what you want,
Mm-hmm.
Do you want money to have a better life?
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to have some kind of balance. You have to learn all about that business and all the ways that it can be used to make money instead of going off in another direction. And I think nurturing and attention is very important.
I like
I
it.
would look I would and I'm gonna keep saying it, become a student of business.
Yes,
And when you
yes.
see, oh, Wendy's has new tea, you said keep referencing restaurants. I'd be,
It's
oh,
okay. You might.
but oh, they have a new tea because they're trying it to see if people
Yes,
like it, to see if
yes,
they can keep it and sustain it. Oh, then it might be added to the menu. So you might try a service or
yes,
have an event, see if that takes. You're not investing a whole lot. You know, sometimes it's in select locations, it's not
yes.
everywhere. And then if it's good and you can find a way to sustain it and supply it and price it right, so you are making a profit, then you add it to your regular menu. I think that is the same way with business activities. Everything
Mm-hmm.
cannot be real estate, or that you might have a management company that does stuff for you. Or, you know, it kind of might be on autopilot for a minute when people are paying rent. If you have that, you can do real estate and do hair.
Yes, 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 yes.
But you don't need to be coming from behind the chair to go fix the sink. You need to be making enough money to hire the plumber or whatever. So you have to be able to grow a team of people. And that can
Ah,
always be your family. It needs to be skilled people. I'm sorry. It needs
yeah.
to be skilled people who can sustain and provide a consistent level of service to your client or customer. So just bringing people in. If you know Day Day, Day Day's
Mm-hmm.
not a real person. Day
Mm-hmm.
Day can't keep a job, but
Mm-hmm.
John
Mm-hmm.
said help him out. He can't work in your business, and it's not going to be consistent. So it needs to be grown. That means you need to price it enough so you're getting quality help, so
Yeah.
you can step away and look into other ventures and other businesses you want to grow. Yeah,
Yes. Oh, that's a powerful
I hope
note.
that's helpful.
No, that's very helpful, and I'm seeing in the chat that it's helpful. Um,
And I
Family
would
and
even
kids
give.
are a headache, so that's a no-no.
Is that what?
Someone said family and friends are a headache, so that's a
Headache.
no-no.
So I would even say, think about businesses that we know. Think about Nike. Think about Walmart. They're smart enough; they can start any business,
Yes.
but
Yes.
they stay with what makes them money.
Yes.
So they could probably, I don't know, build cars. They could figure out and get a factory. They probably have enough money, Amazon, whatever.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
they say, no, this is what we're going to stay. We're going to be excellent at
At
this.
this. Yeah.
And Walmart does have Sam's Club. There's other, they
Yeah.
might venture out.
Yeah.
Nike has shoes, but they also have clothes. So they have ventured out, but they stay in what's, and so they have excellence. So when you hear that name, you don't even question what it is, which goes back to value.
Yes.
Consistency breeds value. Consistency. You can go to Nike website, I can order something, it's going to be here the right time, it's going to be the right size, because they have controls in place. They have hired people to make sure things are consistent. We have to grow with consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Agreed.
absolutely.
So I love that you were talking about you get your team in place and you have to nurture that team so that they can act in your stead, right? Act as you would do in that particular situation, only better because that's what their focus is.
Yes.
So the team brings us right to what I want to talk about next, which is the collective. Tell us what the
Can I
collective is.
show it?
Yes, yes. Woo, 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 woo.
So the collective is so when I had this vision. Actually, so I'm gonna tell you how the vision became about. Back to Charvette Mitchell. Thank you
Mhm.
so much, Charvette. So she had a kind of a VIP retreat in Florida at this mansion. It was nice. But we were not chilling, we were working. So in a workshop, she talked about book collaborations and stuff like, because I've been in several of hers, as you
Yes.
know. And so I didn't know. So usually collaborations are around a theme or
Yes.
around a commonality. But I wanted people to know that I'm not the only person saying this.
Yeah.
And I don't also about expertise. I don't work in every area of accounting and business. Like I don't do taxes.
Yeah.
Don't DM me. I'm not gonna do your taxes. I used to work for IRS, but I don't do taxes. So there are people who who served the same client.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Walmart is all under one roof. So I needed people who served the same demographic, but who had varying angles or viewpoints where they see what the customer needs. And so that is how the collective was born. So the Black Women's Business Bible Collective is a group of 7 women. 6 of us are accountants, and then we have 1 attorney to keep us out of jail.
Yep.
And so some of them are CPAs, some of them are tax professionals. One is an enrolled agent, meaning has a designation with the IRS to do taxes. And each of them, I had a group of topics, and each of them just let loose, as you know from the and and this group of women are very special to me because they each had the same pain,
Yeah.
where you go to your hairdresser all the time and you realize that she can't take advantage of PPP.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
you see broken equipment in your favorite restaurant and you know they can't get a small business loan. And so we serve, even though, we're still Black girls, so we still get our hair done. We still eat at the Jamaican joint on the corner. We live in these communities. And it's like we had this information. Now there are people who can hire us
Sure.
who do that and who hire us and we give them services. But there's a demographic of people who are missing because they don't have the funding or the knowledge to know, oh, I need expertise
Yes.
in this. And
Yes.
so I said, what could I do to get the knowledge to this group of people who might not have, even some people have a CPA, but they don't know what they do.
Right.
They don't know what they should be doing during the year on a daily basis to make the CPA's job easier. And so the collective was born, and I'm gonna tell you their names. So I'm saying because I'm old, and I'll miss one of that. So Kimmy Ellen is from Chicago, Illinois, and she runs the largest, the largest. I feel like I'm preaching.
Yeah.
African American female run firm in this. I think it's in this Illinois or Chicago. She can correct me, but she runs a whole accounting firm. So Monica Houston is a certified public accountant in Georgia. She does a lot of stuff, real estate. She's on it. Tony M. Moore Esquire is an attorney,
Mm-hmm.
and she does what is it, like trademarks. She teaches you about protecting your assets with prophylactics, but she calls the contracts protecting your
Yeah.
brand. And so Chanel D. Simmons is an enrolled agent. She's in the Be More Careful. She's in Baltimore, Maryland. And she runs a practice where she helps people who are in tax trouble.
Mm-hmm.
She is not scared of the IRS. She's actually licensed by the IRS to serve you as an enrolled agent. Then it's Cassandra Taylor. She's in Richmond, Virginia, and she does a lot of local taxes. She does taxes like everybody, but her specialty is like small business compliance. And then Patricia Winfield, I've known her for years. She is a tax professional and owns a firm, and she serves small business. Me and Patricia had a funny thing. She said we were anointed to help special people. So people come to us. People come to us and like, I ain't did my payroll taxes in 2 years. We got you. We're
Right.
going to set up the accounting for you. You don't have to have no shame. So
Yes.
we're anointed to help people who are kind of like flying by the seat of their pants, and we'll give them
Yeah.
some order to their lives. And then myself. So that's the 7 of us. And I reached out to some of the women. Some of the women I didn't know at all until I put the call out there.
Okay.
But we have come on one accord, and we all had the same message. I talked to them one by one as we were coming on, how it hurts your heart to see people miss wealth because of a lack of knowledge, or
Yes.
they're afraid and hiding from the IRS or from getting their business license, but that's costing them in the long run. So when they see it come, like, I could really open up in that shop. But when you go to get a business bank account, you need to be incorporated, have an LLC or S corp or something. You need to
Yes.
have something separate from your personal entity. And so
Yes.
we see every day in our community people suffering. Now we're serving the people who are further along because they're able
Mhm.
to afford
Mhm.
us. They know they need a business plan. They know they need business coaching. But there's a segment of folks who are operating business not at their optimal level.
Yep.
And each of us express a pain, like that is our heaviness that we
Yes.
want to say. I can't give you all that while you're doing my hair. I'm only there for a couple hours. I
Mm-hmm.
can't give the lawn guy a whole thing. You need a you need a business license, you need insurance. I can't do that in a few minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
we created the Black Women's Business Bible, and it is a working guide. It teaches you concepts about business licenses, about you need an accounting system, talks about internal controls, how to write an SOP. How can you fire yourself if you don't, everything's in your head? So you need to write an SOP on how to run that register. You need an SOP on how to do your social media posts and how you want it and what your logo should be and what the color should be. It should be written down. And so we teach the essence of business. Now, it's
Yeah.
a lot of folks in social media, whatever, they're teaching you how to make money.
Right.
Hey, run this conference. Hey, do
Right.
this. We want to say, first of all, you're doing this on social media. You know the IRS can see you, right? You know your neighbors
Yes.
on you know your neighbors see you selling dinners out your kitchen, right?
Yes.
So there are people who tell you how to make money. We tell you what to do with it, how you can, what you can do with it, and how to sustain your business, how to
Yes.
have a budget, how to organize your inventory, how to even read your numbers to see what does it mean that I made $100.
Yes.
Oh, that means if I raise the price of this $2, I can afford a helper. And so the book is really nurturing, and the subtitle is a blueprint to building a successful business. And a successful business doesn't just make money,
No.
because making $1 million ain't nothing if you spend 1 million.
I have said that forever. It's like they'll get on the social media and say, "Oh, I made $1 million." Well, that's wonderful. How much
That's
did you
top
keep?
line. I want to see
How much
bottom
did you
line.
keep? You had to pay out 990,000.
Exactly. And then also it's the myth. So people, it's also like a trend on social media where people wanted to get these Range Rovers or Land Rovers so they can get a
Okay.
deduction. You
Okay.
don't spend money for a deduction.
Right.
But
Right.
how
Right.
much did you put in
Right.
your solo 401k?
Right. Right.
Do you
Right.
have enough money for inventory for the, and we see some of these big social media people later they fail because
Yes.
you don't have the money to sustain your business. So you gotta, I don't know, what was it? Oh no, it was the G Wagon. That wasn't what it was.
A G Wagon.
It was the
Yes.
G
The G
Wagon
Wagon, the
trend.
Mercedes. Yep.
So if you got the G Wagon, you know, first of all, you don't need a G Wagon to deliver whatever you deliver, cake or whatever. So you got it. So what? The only person that got rich is the G Wagon people, the Mercedes people. So 6 months down the road, you got a deduction, but you also made nothing.
And
And
you
you
can't
got,
sustain that vehicle and keep it maintained and all the things that go, the insurance and everything else that goes with it.
exactly.
Hmm. I
So
hear you.
it's are you in business for the floss, or do my floss is my 401k?
True.
Or
Some
can
true.
you at some point stop this business and still get income from
Wow.
retirement or from investments or from real estate? I think it's a whole different mindset that we have to have. Because the other thing too is mindset from business, from an employee to a business owner. It's a mindset shift.
Yes.
Because when
Yes.
you get your paycheck, that's all you got to worry about. You ain't got to worry about the lights. You ain't got to worry about, nothing of that. So we come over into business still operating paycheck to paycheck. And you think because $10,000 came in your account this month, that is your paycheck. It is not.
No, it's
It is
not.
not. As a matter of fact, most times they operate so they can't even pay themselves a consistent amount into their
Yes.
personal account.
Yes.
So the collective has been a blessing. We actually went together. Monica Houston, one of the members of the collective, made arrangements for us to go to Bronner Brothers in February. The book wasn't even done, but we had 2 panel discussions with hairdressers, standing room only. We're very proud. Hopefully we can go back again in the future. But so we talked to hairdressers about how to come from behind the chair.
Yes.
You cannot continue standing on your feet for 30 years. You got to learn to do something, teach classes, have other complementary business, sell products, sell,
Yes.
that kind of thing. Teach other. If you have a successful shop, you can have workshops to up and coming hairdressers. Like you have
Yeah.
to think of ways that that capitalizes on your knowledge and experience. And I think that we stirred up a lot of people. People came to us after like, girl, I ain't got no accounting system. I'm like, what do you do?
Right, right. Right.
And I'm like, what do you do? She said, I only do my accounting at the end of the year when it's time to go to taxes. I give all my bank statements. I said, it's too late.
Yeah.
You should know month to month, week to week what your profit is. You should know if we bake the cake today, we should
Yeah.
know if it's profitable.
Yes.
So if we know that one cake produces an $11 profit, we can multiply that.
Yes.
But if you pricing it too low or you not counting all the costs, you can't make a profit. You have to know day to day what you're making money.
I love it.
And so that is what the goal of the collective is. We talk about from business licensing to local taxes to federal taxes to having a marketing plan, have a business plan, even how to identify. We have and we have worksheets. One worksheet is how to identify what you should be selling. And because you should not be somebody come, I'm getting into this because I went to this meeting. Like that wasn't a part of your plan.
Right,
And you're
right.
getting distracted from the business that is giving you a little profit instead of nurturing. You can't follow every wind of doctrine.
That's right, right.
To make disciplined decisions. It might be something you can research and see
Mm-hmm.
if you can add it to your suite of offerings, but you can't just fly by the seat of your pants. And that will also, we talked in the very beginning of this conversation about respect from your customers. And they might think they don't need to pay you because this is what you're doing this week. She could be doing something next
Right, right, right. She's on to something else the next week. No big deal.
week. Consistency leads to profit. So
Yeah.
building an expertise in a certain area means something, and
Yeah.
exploiting it. And I guess it's the right word.
It's
Exploiting it
positively
out for all
exploiting.
that it's worth. So
Yeah.
I learned that so most of my money is not made through accounting. Most of my
Yes.
money is made through coaching. But if
Yeah.
I had said I can only do accounting and bookkeeping, I would have never had. But I saw a complementary service that could add, because accounting doesn't matter if you're disorganized. So I
Right.
learned that I had a gift for helping business owners get organized and see themselves and set up their accounting records properly. And then we can make some decisions that help us in the tax, paying your quarterly estimates or whatever. And some of them weren't even making enough money for that. So I think it's looking at business holistically and becoming a student of business. You should
Yeah.
be learning all the time. Every
Yes.
time you go to a drive-through, every time you go to the store, you should be looking at how that store is organized. What's the
Yes.
flow? And
Yes.
how many people do they have working? You know how upsetting it is to go to the store and the register's not open? Oh, that's a lesson. So as an entrepreneur, you should always be learning. And the book that we wrote, the Black Women's Business Bible, adds to that learning. And
Yes.
my goal is that people walk away as entrepreneurs. Even when you go to a dentist, you should be paying attention.
How things are going. Yes.
Consistency, staffing,
Yes.
being pleasant. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not a pleasant business.
Yes.
But and not being afraid to walk away from a bad customer.
Yeah.
Fire them.
And we can.
Yes, we can.
And
I fire
do.
them.
And do.
I have a whole email for that to set up. Ready
And
to
do.
go.
I copy and paste. There's my note. After much prayer and consideration. Anyway, where can they get the book besides being on Amazon?
So we each, I have on my business page, plantoprosperacademy.com. There's a link and you can buy from each of the authors. So Amazon is me. I just want to make that clear. I'm very transparent. You know me. I'm too transparent. But you can support any one of the authors. And you'll find their links and how to buy it from them. And also, we like to speak. So we do just like this. We do virtual. And so virtual, we can talk to your group or your
Mhm.
organization. We even talk to your church or whatever it is, because everybody be in trouble sometimes. And so we have we're a collective, so we don't end. And I think that was different for me.
Yes.
And you can tell me about your experience
Yeah.
with the anthologies. is that sometimes after the work is done, the relationship ends. No, the
Mhm.
collective is here to stay. We are a group, and we
Yes.
we text each other all the time. Tony Moore, she sent me a question. I asked her a legal question. Hey, this person is saying this. Does it sound right? And she said, no, girl, that ain't right. And so we use each other as a resource.
Yes.
So we also are available to speak if you want a specific. We're building out a website. I have their stuff, but I want to make sure like I have videos of each of them. So that's coming. So we're our resource to our community. So the book is just the beginning. We can
Yeah.
come and teach on a lesson on the book, whatever you need for your organization. If you have a company and you want us to teach entrepreneurs, if you're a small business administration type organization that's local and you want us to come talk to your to a group of entrepreneurs, we're available. We are here to serve. This is a passion. It's
Yes.
not just a profit. Our passion is
Yes.
profitable, but we will not elevate as a people unless our money is elevating with us. And that has to take, our mindsets have to be there. If I think there are a lot of limitations that we can speak about that has impacted our community. But the way out of that is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is generational wealth. And don't get mad because people of a different ethnicity opened up a store on your corner and they run it. Ask yourself, why didn't you have money to go that big? You know, you rolling around in the G-Wagon. Ask yourself why we don't own most of our hair supply
Yes.
stores.
Yes.
Ask
Yes.
yourself why those people are running the corner store. And it's not anything against them, but that
Mhm.
space was open.
Mhm. Mhm.
But when you're short-sighted and you're running your business in the shadow, you don't have access to capital to make those kind of investments.
Yes.
First, we don't even have the vision that could be us. You mad because they got the vision that you did not challenge yourself for. But so I just want to make sure that we are living at a different level as a
Mhm.
collective of Black
Mhm.
women. I'm talking about
Mhm.
all Black women.
Mhm.
As I
Mhm.
mentioned, we are the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in the nation,
Yes.
fastest growing, but we're not the most wealthy. You
Right.
gotta, you gotta, you gotta, you gotta line that up and really study it. What is that? So we
Yeah.
have to learn how to operate at a different level on a different frequency and start. Don't resent the people who are operating above us. The Walmarts, the Amazon, Ruth Chris, they are examples for us. That's
Yes.
business school 101. Every time you go in a store, you are learning. Go Google Nike. Don't just Google Nike to order. Go to their homepage. Look at they have one of the best mission statements I've ever read. Like it says nothing about shoes. It says they serve something about they serve the athlete. You're like, they don't serve athletes. They said if you got a body, you're an athlete.
Yes.
Their
Yes.
way of life. So
Yes.
I challenge entrepreneurs who are listening to become a student of business. All of these businesses have public websites. Look at their mission. Look at their financial statement. Don't be intimidated by all the zeros. Yes, they have a lot of money, but look at what percentage of their budget is marketing. Walmart, we all know where it is. Toyota, we know where they are, but they invest in their marketing. So why would we not invest in our marketing? One of the next meetings I have next week with this new book, even though it's wonderful and I love it, if I don't invest in the marketing, it's not going to go anywhere. So yes, you have to buy ads on social media. Yes, you need to be getting in front of people and learning about your core demographic and who you're serving. You need to clarify that, because if you don't, you will shrivel up. It's going to dry up. So become a student of business and learn the lessons that we see in big business. We need to invest. We need to have proper staffing. We cannot spend everything that we earn as soon as it hits the bank account. You cannot be looking flyer than your bank account. Uh-oh. You can't wear everything that you're making. You need to reserve some, and a budget and a business plan will tell you what you need to do, and that will help you know how to sustain your business and keep that going concern going.
And that's a word. Amen. All right, sis. Thank you so much for giving so much of your time this morning and sharing so much
Thank
of your
you for
wisdom
having me.
and your
I am blessed,
knowledge.
and I want to talk a minute about my experience with you.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you are actually very nurturing and supportive in the process.
Mm.
Because I don't know anything about this. I don't know, consistency and grammar. I'm a number person,
Yes.
And I just want to thank you publicly for your service to us.
Thank
And
you.
as you see, we're very
Strong.
strong-willed.
Yes. Well, Black women
Absolutely.
usually are. We usually are.
And I just want to thank you for your love and your kindness and your patience and letting me do it my own way and nudging me along when I need to nudge along. And when things don't matter, you say that's not here nor there. You're like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
focusing on the matter.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just want to thank you for that and
You're,
helping me to become an author.
you're
And
welcome.
even seeing the vision of the collective that I wanted a movement, not just a book. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful. And I also wanted to say, my name is Eulica Kimber, CPA, in all social media. And thank my mama named me a unique name, so you don't
Yeah.
have to go hard for it. Eulica Kimber, CPA, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all the like. And if you have a question, just reach out to us. So thank
Sounds
you.
like a plan. Thank you. And you are welcome. I love you.
Thank you. I'm not going. You're not losing me.
I know that's right. You couldn't get rid of me at this point. Because even though the staff of the collective is in the background.
Yeah, you got a page in the book. Her
Yes.
information is in the book. She has a page.
Yes, you, the VA and everybody. We are so supportive of you guys because you guys are doing a great work. And we're
Thank
glad we get to
you.
use our gifts to help you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Love you. Talk to you later. Have a great Saturday.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.